Hello, welcome to Sunday of Championship Weekend. I am your host, Manisha Daryani, with the incomparable Charlie Mercer. Charlie, what can we look forward to today?
Well, in our championship game with San Diego Super Bloom and Seattle Tempest, presented by Discraft, I'm so excited to see this repeat of last year's championship game. Both teams are really coming out looking to either defend their title or take away the title. What do you think?
It felt like the inevitable. The two top teams from the Northwest champion, the Southwest champions coming together. Finals here in front of us today. Both teams coming in through semifinals, both with very defining wins in semifinals. And now here, as I said, it feels inevitable.
Absolutely. Both teams finished 6-2 in the regular season, showing that they are not infallible. And earlier in the season, Seattle beat San Diego, so they have a win under the belt, which boosts their confidence in what they're able to do.
Certainly, again, that's the week one win, let's be clear. So a lot has happened since then. Yes, both teams ending 6-2 through the season. Now again, facing off for the second time in 2 years here for Championship Sunday. We are so glad to have you with us, and more importantly, to have you here for Championship Sunday to determine first place here for the WUL Championship year 2023. Now, we cannot talk about how we got here unless we talk about the highlight players for San Diego Super Bloom. And one name I expect us to say a lot is Dina Elimelech. We're going to be seeing her name a lot, but more importantly, let's just talk about just the stars that is Super Bloom.
Kayla Helton, Alex Diaz. They have such a roster of really impressive players. We can see here that Dina is scoring over a goal and a half a game, scoring at least 2 assists per game, getting at least 2 blocks across the game. Super impactful across the board. Really a player who dominates both offensively and defensively.
Certainly someone who starts on the D-line, but will find themselves on the offensive line as needed. Again, this team is aggressive. This team is in your face, and this team will be relentless.
And when we think about Dina's defensive prowess, the initial coaching plan from San Diego is to put her on Sadie Jezierski to make Jezierski's life really challenging. And so we can look forward to that matchup all game this game.
I mean, I think the problem with Super Bloom is they make everyone's life a really hard matchup. But let's be clear, they are playing at this point the defending champions. That is Seattle Tempest. And again, a team also just chock full of names. I don't even know where to start with Tempest.
Well, we can start with Cheryl Sue.
That's true. Cheryl Sue has been really the, I would say, anchor of this team. I recognize that on paper really doesn't look like an impressive amount of numbers, but let's be clear, no point is scored without Sue touching this disc. She is imperative. She is the really great distributor of the disc, and someone that we certainly want to see making an impact today.
Her inside flick cuts through offenses. Her ability to reset the disc and the pace at which she moves the frisbee across the field is really unmatchable. So we can look for, a lot of nice long hucks from Sue, but also a lot of quick small ball movement having a big impact on the field today.
Yes, double threat, dual threat for sure. Doesn't know if you're going to be able to reset and then get it back or immediately put a bomb downfield to one of these incredible receivers downfield looking for an isolation. Talking to Coach Pam Cross earlier today, I asked, there's a little bit of a swirly wind. I said, do you think that's going to change anything? She looked at me and said, what wind?
And for players like Sue, it is what wind. They have such experience that they're able to, make the minute adjustments in the moment to be able to reflect the impact of the conditions around them.
And again, let's talk about our incredible host. Seattle has been an incredible host this weekend. This is the finale of 4 games that we've played this weekend. We already had our 2 semifinals yesterday. Of course, the 3rd place game earlier today where San Francisco Falcons were the victors over Utah Wild. But let's be clear, this is the game. This is the game everyone waited for. This is the game that, again, maybe felt inevitable, but more importantly, the game that I think will have some of the biggest fireworks.
Absolutely, and we are here in Seattle Memorial Stadium, and this is in downtown Seattle, so we really get the best of Seattle.
So again, this is the Western Ultimate League. We should tell you about the rule set that we'll be playing with. We play on a 80 by 40 yard field, but we play with a timed clock. There are 4 12-minute quarters. The clock will stop every time that a point is scored, except for the last 2 minutes, when the clock will actually stop for any calls or if the discman's out of bounds. Now, this is the most important and fun part of the rule set, is when the quarter ends, play will continue until the possession ends. That means that you are not playing the clock, you are playing defense. Defense is what will end of a quarter. But more importantly, I think the most fun part of this rule set, something that I will tell you I've had a lot of fun with watching, is each team has timeouts, 2 timeouts per half, and substitutions are allowed. But more importantly, coaches get to call those timeouts.
And as a coach, that is definitely, we've seen you, a power that we have seen you use really judiciously and impactfully this season so far.
And certainly both of these coaches do understand how to use those rule sets as well. This is 2 powerhouse coach staffing as well as 2 powerhouse teams themselves. Again, let's be remiss, we can't not talk about the fact that San Diego Super Bloom's coaching staff were named coaching staff of the year. This is a chess match for sure.
Absolutely, and if you look at the season stats for both teams in terms of offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency, the teams are 1 and 2 in the categories this year over the course of the season, and it's a powerhouse matchup.
It's going to be a great time, y'all. We are so glad you are here. Welcome to Championship Sunday, presented to you by Discraft. We are coming back at you very shortly. Stay tuned.
July from Nottingham, England. The World Flying Disc Federation's World Under-24 Ultimate Championships. Live all-access coverage, including semis and finals, exclusively at ultiworld.com.
Welcome back. We are here for Championship Sunday with the WUL Championship game brought to you by Discraft. I am Manisha Doriani, and I'm here with my wonderful friend Charlie Mercer. And we are here to just fill you in on the big highlights of awards that were coming in yesterday. Charlie, who won some of the awards?
The coaching staff of the year is San Diego Super Bloom, and we are going to have the opportunity to watch their coaching prowess on the field today with head coach Angela Wells, with an incredible staff of assistant coaches.
And more importantly, they had some individual awards as well. We had Breakout Player of the Year. Arizona's Kel Gazelle, one who I understand has only been playing for 1 year.
Was a D1 athlete in another sport, came over to Ultimate, and has just been absolutely had a huge impact on the sport.
And of course, we had 2 players coming out of Utah, first of which was the Defensive Player of the Year, Molly Robbins from Utah Wild, really finding themselves downfield with just D's on the brain.
And they also had the Offensive Player of the Year, Paige Kircher, who just putting up yards after yards, really banking the stat sheet in terms of her impact for her throwing yards on the field this year.
And last but not least, we had the league MVP themselves, which is Kayla Helton. Of course, on San Diego Super Bloom, we'll have a chance to watch Kayla Helton and the rest of the Super Bloom here today. But of course, the last award, perhaps the most important.
Absolutely. We have the Trailblazer Award going to Commissioner, WL founder, and executive director of the Los Angeles Astra, Felicia Yang. Lish has done so much for the Western Ultimate League and really has made such an impact both for this sport and for this opportunity for all of us to be here today.
And we are here for, this is year 2 of the WUL. We are here for Championship Sunday with a basically redux of last year. San Diego Super Bloom taking on Seattle Tempest for the title.
Absolutely. It should be a really intense, really fierce competitive game. We have a lot to look forward to.
And now at this point, the teams have at this point decided on the flip. They will be lining up shortly. But more importantly, let's just talk about, I mean, do we want to pick favorites now? I mean, I know where your loyalties lie.
My loyalties do lie with Seattle Tempest, being a former Tempest player myself. And I am really excited for San Diego Super Bloom to have the opportunity at their vengeance. Like they are coming out, they are hot.
This is true. Again, this is a rematch of last year's final where Tempest did take the crown away from San Diego. And notably, in that last year, it was San Diego that was hosting. This year, we are now here in beautiful Seattle. This weather has been awesome, but of course, a little wind that perhaps both teams will have to contend with.
What about you? Where do your loyalties lie?
I mean, I got to be the Southwest here. I mean, so again, these two teams are the top seeds coming out of the two conferences here in the WL. This is the #1 seed of the Southwest Conference, San Diego Super Bloom, taking on the #1 seed in the Northwest Conference, that is Seattle Tempest.
So Seattle won the coin toss, and so they will be starting on offense, and San Diego will be pulling from the left side of the end zone.
And you can already see such a heavy hitter line of defensive players setting up for San Diego Super Bloom. Again, Kristen Pajunas, that's a name I suspect we're going to say a lot. Of course, you can see Kayla Helton on the line. I'm glad to see her on the line. If you did see yesterday's semifinal, Kayla Helton did go down with an injury. My hope is that we'll see a lot of Kayla today.
Absolutely. And in talking with Coach Angela Wells before the game, you know, Kayla is a incredibly impactful player on the field, but has so much experience that she's almost as impactful on the sideline, or, you know, and is so dynamic as a player, can handle, can cut, can do sort of anything on the field. And so,
well, let's see what Seattle Tempest can do now. The disc is centered to Stephanie Lim. San Diego starting in what appears to be some sort of zone look. We have disc in the middle of the field. Tempest now with the disc on the sideline, centering back to Lim. Lim looking for a reset. Nice around swing. Unfortunately, a little too low for Kawhi. San Diego now with the opportunity for a break.
And you could see that gust of wind there having an impact on that disc.
Helton with the swing down to the middle of the field. Pajunas now with the disc. Again, to your point, seeing that wind now starting to affect, but Tempest picking up the disc very quickly. Lim looking downfield. That disc is any disc that hangs, I think Pajunas is going to come down with. I understand why Tempest wants to try and move the disc fast, but that disc just hung a little bit. Again, Super Bloom again with a chance to break. We see Jones with the disc. Jones seeing Pajunas. Pajunas finding Ellie Mellick. Ellie Mellick now looking for the end zone. Messner reading that disc, coming down with it.
And a break to start off the game.
And a break to start the game.
That was a really great lead by Messner as the disc was helixing back to them. You know, they were able to keep the positioning so that they were closest to the disc, and able to box out Garrity from being able to really make a true play at that and make that a really easy catch.
And you know what? Sometimes it's better to be lucky. In fairness, that was a great matchup. It's a disc hanging in the air, but Messner just very patient, understanding that that disc was going to float and finding a way to box out.
Yeah, you know, Messner has recovered from 3 ACL surgeries, and, you know, you wouldn't be able to tell. Like, such a great job moving.
And seeing the replay here, again, Ellie Mellick getting the first assist of the game, looking for Messner. Great read by Messner. San Diego's got to feel good about this.
Absolutely. Wind on their side. Penny Wu with a pull here. Absolutely known for having a lot of distance on the pull. A little bit low, which really tells us the impact of the wind on this situation.
Cheryl Sue with the disc, looking to the far side. Disc back in Sue's hand.
We can see San Diego with the junk look.
Kirkland now with the disc, resetting to Sue. Disc now to the far side in Wong's hand. Wong finding Erickson. Erickson's in the middle of the field. Now looking for the end zone. Erickson with a layout grab. Really exciting, this crowd. You can tell it's a very pro-Tempest crowd.
We are in Seattle. That was a really great throw by Drea Baroma. Drea Baroma is one of the young hotshots on Tempest, and Drea is often known for being the receiver and catching the scores as opposed to throwing them. You know, known for getting a phenomenal Callahan earlier this season, and we can see this throw from Cassie going to Erickson, pushing it back to the middle of the field. A nice touch throw from Drea to a great bid by Jamie Erickson.
I mean, I think we're already starting for the highlight plays. It's only the second point of the game. We've only taken 2 minutes off this clock. It's already 1-1, but let's be clear. San Diego does have the first break right now.
Absolutely. I think that a story of this game will be thinking about the offensive efficiency of both teams. When we look at the The hold percentage from the game yesterday, San Diego held at 75% of their points, and Seattle only held 37.5% of their points.
Well, this just lands out of bounds, so let's see what happens to San Diego right now. Unfortunate early drop for San Diego. This is an opportunity for Seattle to get that break back. Seattle getting the reset in the middle of the field. Julia Snyder now with the disc. Snyder resets to Ambranovich. Back to Snyder. Looking for the up line and looks it off. Snyder again with the disc. Snyder looking for the end zone and finds a target.
Leah Baron-Simmons with that goal. With the assist by Julia Snyder, it's really great to see Snyder back on the field. Snyder's been struggling with some injury this year and so hasn't been as consistent as she has been on the field, only because of ability to play. And, you know, coming back onto this game, wasn't available to play yesterday, immediately having an impact on the field.
Well, I'm just looking for this replay right now. It was a great grab by Baron-Simmons. Again, you see the turnover really early, just an unfortunate drop, and Seattle Tempest picking up the disc and just patiently working to the break side of the field, or actually, my apologies, it was the open side of the field, and then a nice grab by Baron-Simmons, really securing that disc, making sure that that break counts.
Absolutely. I think that, you know, when we think about the drop that caused that turnover earlier, I think we may see more of those given this wind condition. We saw a lot of them yesterday, you know, thinking players not following the disc all the way into their hands, leading, and because the wind is so swirly, it's likely to have an impact on this game.
Well, either way, great great pull coming from Tempest. Now disc centering to the middle of the field. Ellis with the disc. Looking far side. Disc now recenters. Ellie Melik with the disc. Comes to Willis.
You can hear the counting. Tempest also in their own junk look to start off with. Now to person.
And now Ellis starting to get some movement. Disc in Diaz's hands. Back over to Willis. Disc up in the air. Tempest with the unfortunate unluckiness. Keeping possession. Super Bloom now in a power position. Looking for Diaz downfield. Just overthrown.
That was a great run-through block by number 10, Lexi Garrity. You know, Garrity's known for a lot of grittiness and putting on defensive pressure.
It's not in the stat column unless it's an actual D.
Fair.
Tempest now with a chance to be able to add to their break total. Drzeski picking up the disc.
And this will be one of our first opportunities to see Elimelech on Jezerski, which we know is going to be a big matchup this game.
Drzeski now putting the disc downfield. Diaz trying to track it down. Diaz with the D.
Successfully gets the block and knocks it away, so it is able to knock that set.
It counts now. Super Bloom now trying to move the disc quickly.
We see Kayla back in that handler position.
Ellie Melik now with the disc. Again, looking for Diaz. And some contact between Garrity and Diaz, but looks like no call. Tempest now with the disc. Kawhi with the drop. Very sure-handed, giving Super Bloom now the disc with about 15 yards outside the end zone. Looking for Helton. Helton now. And another drop.
I really think that the wind is having the big impact. Also a lot of intense defensive pressure.
A great grab by Steph Lim. Unfortunately with the turnover, really tried to save that disc and just a little too far. Now Tempest with the next turnover, we have Super Bloom now walking over Kayla Hilton.
Tempest playing tight person defense.
Disc now to Diaz, looking downfield, looks it off. A little too far on these resets now. Will Tempest move fast? Nope. Slow the disc down.
Bergmer looking to bust deep, trying to get that.
I mean, this is about 6 turnovers this point, so I can understand why at this point maybe you want to slow things down.
Very reasonable. Another bobble.
To Kawhi. Kawhi now with the disc. Looking for the reset. Now looking downfield, just shorted that throw. All right, San Diego now with 20 seconds to put that disc back in, and I suspect they're going to use as much of that as they can.
It seems like the wind is settling into an upwind downwind situation. So at this point, Super Bloom is going downwind, which is why we see a lot of their throws being pushed down into the ground.
Iwamoto now with the disc. Looking to the middle of the field, finding Hilton. Hilton clearly looking for Elimelech. And unfortunately just shorts the throw. This wind is deceptive at this point. Jajerski now picking up the disc, immediately looking for the end zone and finding a target.
Francis Gellert, a huge goal getter, leading Tempest in goals over the course of the regular season. Scores another one.
You know, it's really interesting to see the pace of this game right now. We really do see San Diego, at least throughout the season, having been the team that really is up tempo. But right now, it looks like Tempest is taking a page out of that playbook and saying, we're going to do it to you.
Yeah, I think the thing that is interesting to me is how, because the wind is impacting this game, it is favoring the Tempest offense with those big hucks, and that Super Bloom is more possession oriented and looking to move the disc laterally across the field, but there are more of those errors happening because of the wind conditions.
And Jajerski's, that's first assist of the game, perhaps one of what may be a couple this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Sadie, set a league record with 8 assists in one game already this year.
Can it be broken? Tempest now with the high pull, seemingly landing out of bounds.
And I think that pull is really indicative of the impact of the wind, because it was a strong pull and clearly just got pushed out of bounds by the wind.
San Diego at this point electing to take the disc in the middle of the field. Jones will start with the disc. Jones walking back to the center of the field. We see Pajunas downfield. We see Juan as well. We see all of the cutters now coming a little bit closer. Pajunas now with the disc, looking to the middle of the field, finding Messner. Messner looking at Pajunas. Pajunas finding Ishii, looking downfield. Another hanging throw, caught by San Diego.
That's a phenomenal box out.
That was Zettner with the goal.
I really love how Zettner kept Baroa behind her and was able, as that disc was floating, to make sure that she had that positioning.
Yeah, and so we're hopefully going to see that replay as well. Again, you see Pajunas handing the disc over. Ishii with the throw. And then, to your point, Zettner just holding position till that disc landed.
We get another angle at it here. That's a great trust throw, putting the disc out in front of your space for your tall receiver to go run onto it.
So, with the hold, San Diego now has a chance to try and take one of these breaks back. We're about 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in this first quarter here on Championship Sunday for a spot for first place and the trophy here for the WUL.
Both teams want it. It shows on the field. Really tight defense. We're seeing a mixture of zone and person.
San Diego with a really nice pull, hanging, landing in bounds, but just sliding out of bounds, forcing Seattle to take the disc on the sideline. Tempest now with the disc. Back to Abramovich. Kirkland now with the disc. Looking downfield. That was Julia Snyder with the throw. Will it hang? It does.
To Leah Baron-Simmons. That is the second time those two have connected. Because Seattle plays a rotating set of 3 lines, that means that they have scored on both of their points together. They've been on the field twice, and both of their points have resulted in a Snyder to Baron-Simmons connection.
But more importantly, an efficient point. I mean, we were just talking about that it was 4 minutes and 19 seconds. That took about 30 seconds off the clock. Watching this replay right now. I'm sorry, that was Linnea Sue that had the disc. Finding Snyder. Snyder looking downfield. And both teams really doing a great job. This is a clinic on how to read discs down in the end zone, and especially when they're floaty, making sure that your body stays between you and the defender.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, second goal of the game for Leah. And Baron Simmons is really showing that they have a nose for the end zone. And Julia Snyder, also such a gift to have back on this field for this Tempest offense.
Certainly, as I heard, Snyder had actually broken their thumb and had surgery. So really great to see Snyder back on the field. Ellis now to pick up the disc. Ellie Mellick with the disc. Tries to hit Ellis, but just another bobble. Jajurski now picking up the disc, looking for Garrity. Back to the middle of the field with Lim. To Kawhi. Kawhi looking downfield, holsters. Back to Lim. Lim putting up a floaty throw. Will it stay inbound? Nice toe. Gellert now back to the middle of the field.
You can see the players really tracking the disc all the way into their body.
Jajurski trying to get around Ellis. Foul has been called. It looks like it's a no contest. You can see the players using the hand signals. The pre-stall has now ended. Players are now active. Throws up to Lim. Lim with a nice read. Lim looking back. Unfortunately, a little too far over. San Diego with a chance to move. San Diego looking downfield. And Kawhi with the run through D.
Kawhi tied for first for most blocks on the regular season for a Seattle Tempest, showing why with that block.
Tempest now with the disc. Looking up line. Lim unable to hang on to it. San Diego now with the disc. Looking to reset, goes over the head of Ellis. Now Tempest with the chance to get a break. Garrity with the disc. Looking for the IO. Settles for the around. Gellert tries to give Kawhi another drop. It's windy.
And it's having a huge impact on this game.
We're reaching to the tail end of the first quarter. San Diego now with a chance. Looking for really the hold. Disc is thrown downfield, looking for Ellie Mellick.
That's a phenomenal put.
Ellie Mellick not able to bring that in. It was a great read, just not able to put that in. Seattle tried to move the disc quickly, partially handball, but again, not in the win column, not in the deep column yet.
But it was there. It made it hard to catch.
Gellert holding the disc. Looking for a reset. Lim now with the disc. About 50 seconds left in this first quarter. Lim looking downfield. Finds an open receiver. Great grab.
Rachel Bradshaw with that grab.
Bradshaw now looking downfield. Open receiver. Will it hold? Yes, it does. And with 35 seconds left in this first quarter, Seattle with another score. Rodenberg with the goal.
That was a great play by Rachel Bradshaw. It really shows the experience that she has playing at high levels of Ultimate. You know, has been on U.S. national teams, has multiple world championships under her belt, is able to see the disc. We'll get a replay, but is able to see the disc tailing in and make that play.
And this all started from what was a really nice deep throw. Ellie Mellick just not able to track this one down. San Diego then basically on their heels. Bradshaw with this great possession-saving grab, and then really at that point, it was just find the open person.
Sam Rodenberg, nose for the end zone, was racking up goals yesterday. Continuing to do that again today.
Definitely. Now, will this be the last point of this quarter? We will remain to be seen. San Diego now spreading out. Tempest electing to go into person. And an immediate turnover. Great defensive play against Pajunas.
By Drea Baroma.
Tempest now with the disc and with 12 seconds left to go. Turns it over, giving Super Bloom now a chance to be able to end this quarter on their possession. There's about 5 seconds left to go. WUL with the deep look, looking downfield. and just not able to connect. And that horn tells you, folks, that that is the end of this first quarter. Wow. I got to catch my breath.
The play was intense and fierce. And as coaches, they're going to really value this opportunity to talk to their teams about the adjustments that they're going to need to make to clean up this game. Seattle is up 5-2. This game is still in anybody's column. There's a lot of game left to play. And I think the winner of this game is going to be who can clean up their offense.
All right. Well, again, thank you for being here. This is the WUL Championship Sunday. This is for first place. This is San Diego Super Bloom versus Seattle Tempest. Seattle with the early lead, again, up 5-2 against Super Bloom. But as Charlie points out very correctly, no lead is safe, especially not against Super Bloom.
We are heading out for a break, and we will come back shortly.
And welcome back. This is Championship Sunday for the WUL, brought to you by Discraft. My name is Manisha Doriani. I'm here with
Charlie Mercer.
And we are bringing to you the second quarter of this matchup between two perennial titans, that is Seattle Tempest and San Diego Super Bloom. Tempest with the early lead, now pulling to Super Bloom, looking to close that gap from first quarter.
But, you know, we are well within the narrative of Seattle playing really well in the first quarter and then tanking in the second quarter. So we will see if they're able to move past some of their past falling challenges in the second quarter.
Ellis now with the disc to Ellie Mellick, looking downfield, back to Ellis. Hearing that numerical count again. Diaz with a great grab under pressure. Some call between the two.
That was an intense pressure by Jennifer Ricarte. The bid was a little bit late, a little bit behind.
So the observer is now coming over both to discuss the stall and, more importantly, to initiate the pre-stall. Again, pre-stall movement is when players can move prior to the disc being thrown by the receiver or the thrower. Ellie Mellick now with the disc, looking downfield, looking for a reset. Mistake on the reset gives Tempest now the disc. You see Ellie Mellick running downfield, wanting to make sure that that deep threat is covered. Ellie Mellick with the D, however, there is a call on the play. That's rolling, make the defensive foul call, or the offensive foul, my apologies, the defensive foul call.
The crowd has a lot of opinions about that call.
They always do. Ellie Mellick seemingly has retracted or not contested it. Disc will now remain with rolling.
During that pre-stall movement, the thrower may not initiate any sort of throwing movement, although the players are allowed to move.
Rolling gets rid of that disc. Disc with a nice grab. Tempest just outside the end zone. Looking for the end zone, finds Super Bloom.
Wait, that's not the right team.
It is not. Ellis now with the disc, going the other way. Ellis looking for the reset.
But going upwind, most of the field to go. Super Bloom still have their work cut out for them.
That was Messer just trying to get the disc downfield, turnover. Tempest now with the disc. Abramovich holding the disc, looking for the reset. Higher stall count. We see the bailout pass. Will it work? Will it work? The disc is tailing. Is it going to land? No! Great D there by Messner saying absolutely not on my watch.
And there's also a stall call on that last minute bailout throw so that you can see our film stall going to the observer whether or not that disc was released in time. There will be a turnover either way given Meisner's block, but this does make a difference for field position, whether or not that stall is upheld.
And it looks like the stall is upheld, which means Super Bloom will get the disc at about the half field mark here.
Going upwind, this additional field position makes a really big difference for Super Bloom here.
Ella's now here to pick up the disc, looking for Diaz downfield. Immediate throw to Diaz. Will it work? Diaz with the grab, 5 yards outside the end zone, finds Ellie Melek in the end zone. Super Bloom with the hold.
That's such a clutch play. To see a streaking Diaz, to have the poise to just dish it off to Elimelech,
I mean, this is one of the reasons Super Bloom is so dangerous. Their throwers can throw either from a standstill or from movement. They have the full arsenal of throws. You see Ellis really stand still, hug, finding Diaz, great read by Diaz, and then Ellie Melek just trailing after the play, uncovered, getting the goal, giving the score now 5-3 in Tempest's favor.
You know, Alex Diaz said that they were not a very proficient thrower until COVID happened, and then they made Kelly Iwamoto throw with them for an hour, 3 to 4 times a week for 3 months, and that's where they got their throwing prowess.
Again, these receivers for Super Bloom are dual threats. They are both capable of going deep. They're capable of getting great unders and looking downfield. It makes any team playing against them just a nightmare for matchups.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate that commitment to learning and growing.
Definitely. WUL with the great pull just outside Tempest defending end zone. Lim now with the disc in the middle of the field, finding Jajerski. Lim looking for the reset, finding Kawhi. Kawhi now with the disc in the middle of the field. Another possession-saving grab. Bradshaw looking for the reset, getting the reset in the middle of the field. Jajerski looking, still looking, finding Lim in the end zone. Second assist for Jajerski.
Jajerski is a very hot or cold player and makes a really big difference for this Tempest offense. When Jajerski is on, Tempest is on. When her creative throws are finding those holes and slicing through offenses, it spells success for the Tempest offense.
The lead is back up to 3 now. Seattle Tempest leading San Diego Super Bloom 6-3. We have only passed about 4 minutes in the second quarter of Championship Sunday.
Wearing your coach hat, if you were here right now, what would you as a Super Bloom coach say to your team?
The wind is what it is. You got to keep firing. You got to keep looking downfield. That's what got you here.
That would definitely be a change from their initial plan of being really possession-oriented.
They can be possession-oriented and still look downfield. That's what makes Super Bloom so dangerous.
Very fair.
All right, Tempest now with the pull. Disc landing in bounds. Cabriales now with the disc. Finding Diaz. Diaz looking downfield. Disc is hanging, disc is hanging. Who will read it? Unsurprisingly. Who else? Ellie Melek.
That's an incredible grab by Ellie Melek. It's really, you know, it's what she's known for.
Against 2 Tempest defenders. How many defenders do you think they have to put down there?
Definitely more than 2.
Apparently so. Again, such quick movement, such a quick point. This is the type of movement that I know Super Bloom wants. They want these quick, efficient points. They want to get their D-line back out there. They want to be able to run through their gambit of defensive looks. Very quick possession. Ellie Melek walking back to the line.
Yeah, when we think about points played over the course of the regular season, Ellie Mellick played 147 points over the course of the regular season. Kayla Helton close behind at 146 points played. But, you know, you are leaning really heavily on particular players to carry a significant load, and these players are up to that task.
Let's see what defensive scheme Coach Angela Wells is going to pull down. Oh, really, it's Alicia Stout, I believe, who actually runs most of their D. Stoon. Tempest now disc in the middle of the field. Snyder with the disc. Abranovich looking to the sideline. Getting the disc back. Back to Snyder in the middle of the field.
Sounds like it's a jump
Snyder
for some number.
Rolling back to Snyder, back to rolling. Back to Snyder. Finding Abranovich in the middle of the field, looking downfield, uncorking, almost defended, not in. And yet now finding the end zone.
Ricarte Chung for that goal. Kat Chung was unavailable for the game yesterday, so it's really great to have Kat Chung on the field today.
But we saw an equally quick, efficient point coming from Tempest, matching what we saw from Super Bloom. Did not matter that Super Bloom was playing a junk set, trying to stop them. It was just nice patience between Snyder and Abramovich to find the open receiver downfield. And you can see it. Abramovich just looking downfield, finds the open receiver. Ricarte with a great read just outside the end zone. Good thing she did not try and spike that disc, and then finding Kat Chung in the end zone.
Yeah, both teams seem to have settled into playing downwind. So at this point, the offense is playing downwind, and that seems to have helped the cleanliness of the holds. And they're able, you can hear the wind coming through on our mics.
I was just realizing that as well.
Yeah, and so it creates more opportunity for both teams to find those really great hucks.
Ellis going over to pick up the disc. Super Bloom with Wu in the middle of the field. Wu getting the disc, looking for Diaz, finding Diaz. Diaz looking downfield, another huck. Will this work? Kawhi with a great read.
Second block of the game for Hannah Kawhi.
And of course now has to go back and pick it up. Kawhi walking the disc up. Seattle with a chance for another break.
But have the whole field to move it through first.
80 yards ain't that long. Kawhi looking for the reset, looking for Lim. Lim is covered. It appears that there was a timeout called by Tempest. And we can see that with the confusion of the players. But if you could hear on the broadcast, you could hear the whistle. Both coaches are given electronic whistles that allow coaches to make timeout calls on the sideline that are acknowledged by the observers. Watching these two celebrate has been really, really fun. This Tempest team is really fun to watch, but I am not ready to count out Super Bloom. Super Bloom has still a number of tricks up their sleeve. This timeout call designed to give Tempest an opportunity to put, I suspect, a different line on, or if they're keeping the same line, a chance to just sort of talk things out. To your point, Charlie, 80 yards to go, upwind.
Like you mentioned earlier, one of the unique aspects of the rule set for the WUL is that you are allowed to change players on a timeout. Historically, Tempest does change lines. It does look like they're keeping their same line out here again. But when you have players like Hannah Kawhi that are making plays, you know, that's definitely a player that you want to keep on the field because they have such a big impact offensively and defensively.
And it looks like we are seeing some substitutions for San Diego, some new players coming onto this line. Again, this is an important hold for San Diego. It doesn't seem like neither team is really excited about the prospect of moving upwind, especially starting on offense. So I suspect pulling out all the stops here to try and get a block.
This does feel like, you know, although Seattle plays roughly even playing time, it does feel like this is Seattle's top line.
I think those other two lines would have words with you, Charlie.
You know, they can have words with me.
All right, Ellie Mellick on the mark. Jajurski looking for a reset, finding a reset in Kawhi. Kawhi looking downfield. Bradshaw holding the disc, looking for a reset again. Disc is a little high. Kayla Helton in the vicinity with the D.
That was a really smart, safe play by Helton, able to get in there, read where the disc was going to go, and put herself in that position.
Ellis looking for Helton. Helton just outside the end zone. Gives it back to Ellis. Ellis finds the open receiver who takes a seat.
You can see the pause there of like, you're here, you're ready? Yeah? Okay.
And that's Rutland with the goal. Ellis's first assist of the game.
We will surely be seeing the block and then the goal on our replay.
Again, an all-important hold. This was the block. Really, this was just, to your point, Helton just reading the disc, being patient, and then finding Ellis. Ellis looking downfield, seeing Rutland open, telling Rutland exactly, stay there, I'll hit you. Now 7-5 in Tempest's favor. Tempest will now be going downwind.
A big shout out to Rutland, who is a professional ultimate player and a mom, showing that you can do all the things.
I know it's probably a lot though, and certainly credit to all the moms. We have a number of moms, not only who are players, but also on our board. It has been an incredible opportunity to see these players on the field, and more importantly, to work with these folks on our board. Tempest now with the disc. San Diego with a zone look. Erickson with the disc, looking downfield, finding Sue. Sue looking for the reset. Elmi with the disc, back to Sue. Sue finds Wong, under pressure. Back to Wong. Wong looking downfield. Finds Erickson. Erickson with the reset downfield and the easy goal.
Abby Hecko catching that goal.
I heard Echo won some award recently.
Oh yeah, you know, no big deal. Just the Callahan Award, the top award in the college division.
NBD.
One of my fun facts about Hecko is that Hecko leads the team with her offensive impact score.
What is the offensive impact score?
Great question. The offensive impact score is a combination of the number of goals, assists, throwing yards, and receiving yards to demonstrate the impact that you have had on your team's offensive success. And so Hecko, while doesn't lead the team in any one of those categories, has an impact across all of them, and so is such a significant offensive contributor to the team. And we can see that here, you know, and it really plays to how dynamic Hecko is as a player.
And we just saw that replay of that last point. Really almost every a member of that line touching the disc. San Diego now with a chance to answer. About 4 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the second quarter here on Championship Sunday for first place in the WUL. Who will be crowned champion? Super Bloom losing some yards right now against the Tempest zone, looking to create it back. Jones with the disc, distributing, finding Diaz downfield. Diaz immediately looking for Ellie Mellick. Ellie Mellick with two defenders, jumps a little too early.
And that poach by Abramovich to come in and help out to really sandwich Ellie Mellick, make sure that she has to jump early.
Tempest now with the disc. Abramovich holding the disc. Finding Garrity. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was Ricarte. Looking downfield. Kayla Helton not to pick up. Finding Jones. Jones looking downfield, looking for Diaz. And that disc flies up and down, but into the sure hands of Diaz. Diaz's first goal to add to 2 assists today here on Championship Sunday.
Diaz, such an impact player for this roster.
Absolutely. Again, among many impact players that Super Bloom has. And again, we are just so early in this championship rematch from last season. Right now the score, Seattle 8, Super Bloom 6. About 3.5 minutes left to go in this second quarter of Championship Sunday.
There's a lot of fight left.
We just see Ellie Malik's turn.
The players are having a lot of fun. As we think about different players and how grateful they are to be here, it's the opportunities that have been created by the Western Ultimate League are so precious for representation, for women and non-binary individuals to have this stage, to have the opportunity to play as professional athletes. And you can see the joy on their faces throughout this experience.
I also think one of these teams wants to see a medal.
I mean, both of these teams want to see the medal, but only one of them will.
Absolutely. Tempest now with the disc. San Diego coming down in a zone. Lim with the disc in the middle of the field, looking for Jajerski. Nope, finding Bradshaw. Bradshaw resetting back. Now back to Lim in the middle of the field, finding Kawhi in the middle. Kawhi looking downfield, uncorking a deep look. Will it work? Ellie Malik with a great layout D. That was going to be a goal. That was going to be a goal, and that saved possession, or saved a point.
We're getting another look at that throw by Hannah Kawhi in this phenomenal D. That play puts it in contention for the disc golf play of the game right there.
Still too early to say. Disc now with Super Bloom's hand. We see Pajunas looking downfield, some miscommunication, giving the disc back to Tempest. Disc now with Lim to Bradshaw. Bradshaw looking, holsters, gives it back to Lim. Lim finding underneath, now to Kawhi.
The quick lateral passes that Tempest is using is really making a difference to be able to change their point of attack.
Jajerski with a great read. Pajunas almost with that D. I don't even know what throw that was. I don't even know what throw that was. Rodenberg with the goal.
Jajerski with the assist.
Third assist of the game so far. We still have 1 minute and 51 seconds left here in this second quarter. What was that throw?
It was an inside out. Jajerski had one of those yesterday too.
It was an outside in. Let's see this replay again. Let's see if the second angle can catch it. I don't even think Pajunas could understand what happened with that throw. At least Rodenberg was looking for it, I think.
That's what Jajerski is known for, her creative throws. Able to open windows that nobody else is able to open.
Well, really a missed opportunity for Super Bloom. That was a chance for them to get one of these breaks back. They had the disc, just couldn't hang on to possession. Now they are moving downwind, which is the direction that seemingly all the teams have been scoring. Let's see if that trend continues in the waning minutes of this second quarter here on Championship Sunday. Super Bloom with the disc in the middle of the on the side of the field. Wu with the disc. Wu with the fancy around. Unfortunately, just can't hang on. Cheryl Sue immediately picks up, looking downfield.
Sue is someone that Tempest relies on to take a lot of those big shots.
Looking for Hecko now. San Diego back with the disc. Wu picking up. Looking downfield, uncorking a deep look. Is it going to be long enough? No, Wong easily comes down with that D. Looking for Sue. Sue is now in the middle of the field. Looking for a reset.
Nice around by Sue.
Finding Kirkland. Clicking now. Back to Sue. Almost D'd. Great hands by Hecko. Disc now in Wong's hand. Looking for the around. Getting the reset to Sue. Another timeout call. Second timeout call for Tempest. That is the second of 2 that they have this half. Gives a chance to take a breather. Again, will Tempest keep the same line? Will they put on a new line? We have 46 seconds left in this quarter. This is the all-important upwind break.
Yeah, absolutely. As we think about each of the teams and what they were bringing into this game, you know, the Tempest coaches decorated the locker room for the players, for them to coming into this game. They had the players write notes to each other, talking about playing with confidence. And that's really the theme here for this Tempest offense, is that Tempest has, in the first season of the WUL, Tempest went undefeated over the course of the entire season. And Tempest lost 2 games this year. And having that swagger, having that confidence is their messaging throughout the course of this season.
Well, all that to say, Super Bloom is here to be the spoiler. It's still only 6-9, 46 seconds left on this clock. Super Bloom with an opportunity to potentially get the block, then score downwind, as we've been seeing very consistently here in the second quarter.
And when we think about Super Bloom, you know, talking to Angela Wells before the game, you know, her goal is to dominate and win the championship. You know, there's the belief that they have the best roster, you know, by winning more individual accolades for their players of the year, that they are going to be able to win with the caliber of their play up and down this roster.
Dziurski now with the disc, looking downfield, seeing Pajunas in the middle of the field. Is the disc going to travel? Lands harmlessly in the end zone. San Diego now with a chance to take the disc. 39 seconds left on the clock here in the second quarter of Championship Sunday. Ellis going to pick up the disc. Ellis trying to find Ali Malik, overthrown. San Diego, what a block! Wait. Oh, there's a good question here. Did Dziurski get the block? Dziurski says no. That was a great layout block by Ali Malik. Disc is down. And San Diego now with the disc after that incredible possession.
That's
changing
phenomenal play.
Helton picking up the disc. Finding Zettner on the sideline. Zettner looking downfield, shorts this disc. Ali Malik trying to make a grab.
Almost is able to make that play.
Seattle now with the disc. 10 seconds left to go. Dziurski shorting this disc. 7 seconds now. San Diego will have the last possession of this game. Will it be a score?
This is a huge possession for Super Bloom.
It looks like there's been some discussion of whether or not Angela Wells was able to get a timeout call before the clock hit 0. There is a discussion at this point. The players did not hear that. Angela Wells saying, I did call that timeout. That disc should be reset. Angela Wells and Super Bloom with a timeout remaining. As long as the clock had not hit 0, teams are allowed to call that timeout. And it looks like the observers are in agreement that the call was made before the clock hit 0. San Diego get the timeout and now gets a chance to just regroup, and finish this last possession with a score.
Here we're getting this replay.
A block. Look at this layout block. See, you thought the play of the game had already happened. That might be it.
They're both Ali Malik.
This is true. This is true. All right, so Super Bloom, having called the timeout, looking to put 7 players on. Because the clock has hit 0 at this point, this quarter will end with either Super Bloom scoring or Tempest getting the block. What do you think?
I think Super Bloom scores. I think that Super Bloom's individual player contributions are outmatching Seattle's right now. I think that we are seeing phenomenal play by Ali Malik, and Ds like that are making a huge difference for this team, putting so much defensive pressure on Tempest. There are still a couple of miscues that has them down on the point, but I think they're going to be able to close this gap, and they have the patience to be able to put this in.
All right, we see WUL picking up the disc, so we do see some new players in after the timeout, looking up at the front of the stack. Ali Malik with the grab. Disc still about 20 yards outside the end zone. Looking for a reset. Ali Malik at a higher stall count. Tries to hit WUL. WUL keeps possession. Disc down on the sideline. Ends in a turnover.
I was incorrect. They were not able to close it out.
So, first half, Seattle up 9-6 here, Championship Sunday, WUL Championship, brought to you by Discraft. My name is Manisha Daryani. I am here with the incomparable Charlie Mercer. And we are so pleased to be giving you this first half of incredible actions. What are your big takeaways right now?
These teams are really good. They're incredible, incredible athletes that are putting on a show for us. Both teams have been able to settle into the wind conditions. We had a sloppy first quarter as they were getting able to find the edge of their throws for their disc angles, and now we're seeing a lot more consistency, and we're able to highlight individual performances, making a big impact on this field.
I mean, both teams have left a lot in this first half on the table. As we start to look at some of the recap of the first half summary, both teams are going to have to go into the locker room with a lot of questions. Tempest right now with the better stat in terms of clean holds, but to your point, Charlie, lots of turnovers in this first half, lots of break chances for Tempest. I mean, in many ways, Super Bloom has to feel great that the score is not further apart.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it really shows Tempest's ability to generate Ds and having that make a difference. But ultimately, if Super Bloom tightens up with their offensive possessions, this game becomes potentially in Super Bloom's favor.
I'm still looking at those break chances. In order for Super Bloom to get back into this game, they're going to have to generate breaks, which means they're going to have to get Ds in this second half. They were so close on so many. Ellie Melek, again, single-handedly perhaps trying to put the game on her back with some of these Ds that she's been able to get. But let's go down to the field. We're going to talk to our sideline reporter, Leah Smith, who is with San Diego Super Blooms, Amanda Rutland.
Hi, I'm Leah Smith, and I'm here with Amanda Rutland. Amanda, how is this game feeling so far? You're in the championship game.
I think, being in the championships again is amazing. We knew we could get here. We knew we had an amazingly solid team this year, and obviously an amazing coaching staff that just won best coaching staff of the season. Woohoo. And it just, I think there's a little bit of nerves, but just mostly excitement to be here again, and this time to come to Seattle to do it and try and take it from them at home, since they took it from us at home last year.
And yeah, and how are you all playing out there? This wind is very swirly, but the weather is beautiful. How are you adjusting to these playing conditions?
Yeah, I mean, even just between points, upwind, downwind can shift, so it's super interesting. You have to be on your toes, but also just grind it out with your legs. It's going to be an effort game, and we just want to win that effort game.
Yeah. And then is there anything else we should look forward to in this second half?
I think just big players making big plays. I think, there's nothing left after this half, so we're going to lay it on the line, and I expect Seattle to do the same, and there should be some pretty incredible plays.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I'm going to send it back to Charlie and Slap.
All right, we heard it from Amanda herself, Amanda Rutland, talking about what are the adjustments that are going to need to be made. More importantly, just how excited these players are. I know, Charlie, you spent a lot of time interviewing these players, but this is going to be an exciting second half. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are all as well. We are so happy to have you here. Again, this is Championship Sunday here for the WUL, presented to you by Discraft, and we will be coming back at you before you know it. See you in the second half.
July from Nottingham, England, the World Flying Disc Federation's World Under-24 Ultimate Championships. Live all-access coverage, including semis and finals, exclusively at ultiworld.com.
And welcome back here. This is Championship Sunday, brought to you by Discraft. This is first place on the line. And Charlie, we are going to bring it back down to our sideline reporter.
I'm Leah Smith, and I'm back with Seattle Tempest captain Ari Lozano. How is it feeling to be back in championship weekend for this championship game?
I mean, it's awesome. This is our home field. We're excited to be here. All of our fans are here. It's just, we have to defend this title that we got last season, so.
Defend your turf and your title. How are you all adjusting to the play style of San Diego and adjusting to this wind?
Wow, so the wind is obviously a really big factor. We've seen a lot of throws here go up and down in all crazy directions. We just have to remember that all of our people have to be behind every throw to catch it, just in case that happens. And I think with regards to playing with the San Diego defense, they have such strong person defense, and they're putting a lot of pressure on us, but we just know that we trust our teammates and we can get the ball, and we just got to keep grinding and keep our foot on the gas.
That's great. Yeah, and anything else we need to look forward to in this last half of the entire WL season?
Oh my gosh, I think just more tight defense, more plays. We're keeping our foot on the gas, and we want to win this again. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Ari. I'm going to give it back to Charlie and Slap.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that interview
we're going to need someone to interview
with Ari Lozano
like
of Seattle Tempest. Again, a season-ending injury, unfortunately, for Lozano, but team captain giving the interview and talking about what Seattle has to do in order to maintain the lead that they have. We are going to come back at you pretty quick, y'all. Second half coming at you here, WL Championship Sunday. Be back soon.
Double block. Echo.
Big and Ari would do that's why we're shouting out Ace the Mercer.
Yeah. Hecko in the end zone. Oh. Back to Hecko. Going up line. Kirkland with the goal. Elmi to Hecko. That's a familiar connection, just like some Wi-Fi. Elmi, inside out flick to Hecko with the box out. Ooh.
And welcome back. We are about to begin the second half here of Championship Sunday. This is for first place between the two heavyweight favorites, let's call them, Seattle Tempest and San Diego Super Bloom. I am Manisha Thariani, and I am joined by
Charlie Mercer.
And we are here to bring to you the second half of action. It has been an incredible first half. The score is 6-9 between San Diego and Tempest. Tempest leading by 3 at this point, starting on offense.
This is where Tempest want to be, able to put out strong lines. And when we think about what Super Bloom needs to do in order to be effective in this half, they need to shut down the Tempest handlers from being able to move the disc across the field. Super Bloom has the defenders to be able to do that. They have players like Mesner, they have players like Elimelech, and players like Blair, and making their handler lives really challenging. Baiting throws to the sideline, being able to clamp down is going to make a difference for the Super Bloom defense.
Well, listen, right now Super Bloom has to make sure that their offense is running on all cylinders. This is Super Blooms starting on defense, but needing breaks. We saw in the first half only 3 break opportunities that were generated by Super Bloom. Super Bloom needing to add to that total if they want to come back into this game. Super Bloom will be starting. Again, Ellie Malik with the pull down to Tempest. Tempest with, again, their 3 lines. This team notorious or infamous, let's say, for utilizing equal PT between their players. 3 lines of players who come on interchangeably.
But again, this line seems to be the line that Tempest is favoring to start quarters and to put in after timeouts, favoring them as a lot of their heavy hitters, players like Lexi Garrity and Frances Geller, who are leading the team in the goal column. There's like Sadie Judzewski, Steph Lim.
All right, Steph Lim, again, starting with the disc in the middle of the field, looking for Bradshaw, but overthrowing Super Bloom now with one of those break opportunities. Will they be able to convert?
This is what you're looking for. This is the opportunity that Super Bloom needs to take advantage of.
Ellis going to pick up the disc. Rutland in front. Looks like a bracket, but finding Kayla. Nice towing of the line. Helton now with the disc, looking downfield. Helton down to the middle of the field, off the hands. I think that was Salvation. Juszewski looking downfield, thought about it, did it anyways. Helton with the block, coming off to help. That was Ellis's person, that was Hannah Kawhi downfield. Kayla Helton now picking up the disc.
Showing why she earned that MVP award.
Disc a little too high, giving the disc back to Tempest. Kawhi now with the disc. Kawhi looking for the around. Now looking downfield on a high stall count. Lots of Super Bloom in the area.
Another block by Helton.
Looks like a shoe got lost, so Kayla Helton graciously waiting for the player. Looks like there's actually going to be an injury call. Again, the players signaling, utilizing the hand signals to indicate what is happening. It both communicates to the observers and it communicates to the folks on the field. Speaking of the observers, let's talk about them for just a second.
Yeah, our observing staff, all women and non-binary observers, are Adam Toki, Jana Haymaker, Kate Isabadas, and Zita Strickland. So thank you to our observing staff. You make a difference to keep this game moving quickly.
Again, an all-female and non-binary observer crew has been consistent all weekend. Now, San Diego Super Bloom with the disc, looking downfield, looking for Bajunas. Haven't called Bajunas' name that much. And a great read by Tempest. Rodenberg with the block, giving Tempest the disc. Possession-saving grab by Lim. Lim looking for Kawhi. Kawhi looking downfield. Rutland in the area. And Kayla Helton with another D. That's the third for this particular point.
That's incredible. 3 Ds in 1 point.
How many break opportunities will Super Bloom get at this point? Again, they at this point have literally tied the number of break opportunities that they've had in the first half.
And they're choosing to look deep consistently.
Ellie Malik now looking downfield. Disc is hanging. Disc trailing to the left. Lim now picking up. Lim finding Kawhi in the middle of the field. Kawhi with the overthrow. Ellie Malik now with the D.
Someone different than Helton.
Ellis coming to pick up the disc. Ellis looking downfield, shorting the throw. However, the disc rolls into the end zone. Nope, no, not into the end zone. It rolls away from the end zone, but out of bounds, giving Super Bloom an opportunity to trap the disc to start. This wind really messing with these players right now.
Yeah, should have the opportunity to have a really, there's
another injury call. So we are seeing another injury call again. You can see the play has stopped. When there is an injury call, not only can a player on the team, not only does the player get substituted, but the opposing team gets an opportunity to put a player in. Seeing again, one of the 3 Ds that Kayla Helton has already generated in this particular point. Lim now with the disc, looking downfield, looking for Kawhi, but finds Rodenberg. Now back to Kawhi. Back to Lim. Middle of the field now. Ricarte. Back to Lim. With
what a block!
the block. Superbloom now with a chance. Looking that was Messner. Messner with the round block. Way to see that coming. Kayla Hilton now going to pick up the disc. Looking for an under. I would really want them to look at unders now. No, looking for the deep. Looking for Messner. Will Messner get it? Yes, Messner does. And the bookends.
Phenomenal play by Messner there. Such astute reading to set up that block and then the drive to go downfield.
After so many turnovers, just the fearlessness that is Superbloom to be able to just pick the disc up and say, I'm looking downfield and we're going to find someone down there. Again, looking at this block, great read, just gets a good hand on it. Tempest unable to get the disc. Then you see Kayla Hilton looking for Ellie Melick. Ellie Melick just uncorking a backhand. Messner, great read to track this down and getting what is the upwind score.
And that is absolutely a game changer for Superbloom to then have the opportunity to have this Tempest offense have to go into the wind if they want to get this hold.
And again, noting that Charlie, you had mentioned that it seemed like sort of the top line was the line we saw before. Now you have, I'm not going to call it the second line, but a different line of Tempest players now having to play upwind. WUL with a great pull, landing inbounds, just 3 yards outside the end zone. Disc centered to Sue.
WUL's pulls are so impactful.
Sue looking downfield, resets to Kirkland. Kirkland back to Sue. Sue clearly looking for Erickson, not able to get it. Gets the reset in Elmi. Elmi finds Erickson. Cassie Wong coming, driving under. Erickson now. Looking for Elmi. Disc now in the middle of the field. In now Hecko's hands. Hecko looking downfield. Kayla Hilton in the area. Off the hands of Erickson.
Really great pressure by Hilton to
Kayla
generate
Hilton
that.
now picking up the disc. Resets to the middle of the field. Now to Bajunas. 2 Superbloom players there, but good read by Abrams. Abrams now with the disc. Now to the middle of the field. Looking downfield. Iwamoto looking for WUL. Just too far.
Normally WUL is the thrower on those big looks as opposed to the receiver.
Looks like there was actually a call much earlier in this possession. It looks like the observers and Hilton are discussing. There might also have been an injury. We are seeing a Tempest player walking off the field. Elmi has exited the field, so it must have been an injury call. The question will be, where was the injury? This might mean Superbloom keeps possession. Sue coming on.
Something I'm seeing is that Tempest is playing their very huck-heavy offense, and they're inviting Superbloom into their huck-heavy offense.
I mean, I got to tell you, though, Superbloom's also known for the hucks, so are they inviting him, or are they saying, why don't you play the same game we play?
Fair enough.
All right, looks like something has been retracted, and the discussion was whether or not the injury happened before or after the throw. Superbloom acknowledging that the throw had gone off, then the injury happened. So it is a turnover. Sue now picking up the disc, finding Kirkland. Kirkland looking for Erickson. Erickson finding Hecko. Hecko looking downfield. Resets back to Sue. Now to Hecko. Looking up line, gets the little tight throw. Sue now with the disc in a power position. Looking downfield.
Bajunas in the hunt.
And Erickson comes down with the disc. Erickson now looking for a reset. Sue there. Sue giving it back to Erickson. Erickson just outside the end zone. Disc back to the middle of the field. Kirkland now with the disc. Kirkland looking to the far side. The throw drops.
That's the wind. That's the wind having that impact.
Is the wind. Iwamoto going to pick up the disc. Disc now centers. Jones with the disc. Jones looking downfield. Has a receiver. Disc in Stanbaugh's hand? Yes. Now to Pajunas. Pajunas just outside the end zone. looking for Helton. Timeout called.
Strong call there.
Yes.
Super Bloom offense a little bit frantic. Phenomenal grab by Stamba there.
And really, no one available. And so great timeout call. Pajunas really had no one. 5 seconds probably was on that stall. Great timeout call by that coach. Again, looking at this replay, it's just an immediate huck. We were not even ready for it, but great read by Stanbaugh. Then picking up the disc, gathering themselves, looking for Pajunas. Pajunas unfortunately just had no one, so which is why that timeout call was made.
Yeah, I really acknowledge Stamba there for holding the disc all the way through contact with the ground and maintaining it, because you could see the wind still impacting it as she was.
Really got to use 2 hands, I think is the lesson here.
Yeah.
Nothing is sure until it's in your hands.
This is a critical end zone possession.
Again, giving Super Bloom a chance to close this gap. Current score is 7-9. Super Bloom down against Seattle Tempest. We have about less than 5.5 minutes left to go in this third quarter. Can Super Bloom start to close this gap? Make this a really uncomfortable game for Tempest.
Yeah, in the games yesterday, San Diego's red zone efficiency was significantly higher than Seattle's. They were at a 43.8 red zone efficiency, while Seattle only had a 28.1% efficiency, which means that chances are looking good for Seattle to be able to close, or for San Diego to be able to close this possession to bring the game within 1.
And Ellis will be picking up the disc. Ellie Mellick in the front of the stack. Just the high release and an easy goal for Ellie Mellick. Ellis with her 2nd assist. Ellie Mellick with her 3rd goal to add to 2 assists and 2 Ds already in this game. We still have 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter here on Championship Sunday. This is the WL Championship brought to you by Discraft and Super Bloom, starting to close the gap.
They're making their way.
And really, what a game Ellie Mellick has already had so far for Super Bloom. Just look at some of these plays.
Really reading the discs. Athleticism making such a big difference. Making a case for player of the game right here.
Both layout Ds just critically timed.
Such a fun player to watch. So skilled. Thrower, receiver, athleticism.
And now with the score just by 1, Tempest with the disc. Middle of the field, Snyder finding Ricarte. In the disc, goes to Rolling. Rolling, finding Snyder. Drops back. Sue looking. Finding Abranovich.
Gusts of wind picking back up here.
Resets. Disc now back to Snyder. Tries to throw downfield. There's some discussion about a fall, but it is retracted. San Diego now with a chance to tie the game. With 4 minutes left here in the third.
Did Jones get that block? Did Jones get a hand on that?
Unclear. Ellie Mellick still on the field, looking downfield, uncorking a deep throw to Pajunas. Pajunas did not see it coming, but almost with the layout grab. Tempest now moving the disc the other direction. Abranovich holding the disc. Looking for Snyder, overthrows Snyder. Super Bloom with a chance.
The relentless Super Bloom pressure is making a difference and jittering this Tempest offense.
Jones with the disc in the middle of the field. Finds Zettner. Zettner looking for Helton. Helton with the layout, but just off of her hands. That looked like it might have hurt. That had a lot of zing on that.
Absolutely. Helton, such a stalwart for this team.
Sue now with the disc. Looking for the IO, finds Roland. Disc in the middle of the field, but it's a turnover. San Diego looking downfield, looking for Pajunas. Disc up in the air. Contested. Pajunas not able to come down with it. I did not like that decision. My coaching hat's going to come on now.
But the Rolling Pajunas matchup is a really fun matchup to watch. The two of them are both known for their defensive blocks, ability to make plays in the air.
Tempest now with a chance again. This is about a hold for Tempest. That's what they're looking for. Looking for rolling downfield, a little too far. Ellie Melick in the area. Disc now going all the way down to the end zone line.
And Ellie Melick touched the disc, giving her another point in that D-line.
No, I didn't count that one. Pajunas now picking up the disc. Pajunas has been downfield, so interesting to see Pajunas pick it up. And now looking downfield, clearly looking for Helton, looking for Ellie Melick. The disc is traveling. Ellie Melick almost with the D, with the grab. Tempest now with the disc. Abramovich looking to the sideline, just not able to hang on. San Diego now with the disc, looking downfield, centering the pass. A bid from Tempest. Helton still with the disc. Ellie Melick now in the middle of the field. Ellie Melick finding Jones just too far, not able to track that down. Disc lands out of bounds. We have 1:46 left here in this third quarter of Championship Sunday for a chance to crown the WL champion. Snyder going to pick up the disc. Ellie Melick switching on to guard the mark. As the mark.
Which is a really smart play. Her mark has already proved to be incredibly impactful so far this game.
Ricarte looking downfield, finding a receiver, great toe of the line, looking again downfield. Roland in the area. Will Roland be able to get this disc? Just a little too far.
With just over a minute and a half left to play, Super Bloom down by 1. This is a critical offensive possession for them to be able to move the disc down the field.
And a good reminder that Tempest started on offense on this point. This is a chance for Super Bloom to break. Now, looking downfield, just what looks to be a change the field throw.
This really seems to be a lot of punt and play D right now.
Snyder now looking for Abramovich. Finding Ricarte. Back to Abramovich. Disc now to Sue. And we hear a timeout call. We're hearing a timeout call. This is a Tempest timeout. Timeouts can only be called by the team that is on offense. Coach Rory Titcomb coming to say, let's talk about it. Let's take a breath.
And because there have been so many turnovers in this point, this is really an optimal opportunity to get fresh legs on the field.
So you do think that at this point Tempest is going to put a new line on?
Absolutely.
I suspect we will see the same for Super Bloom. Probably a new set of legs. And again, it wasn't a long point. Lots of turns, but more importantly, lots of Ds as well. And just so close to a grab there by Kayla Hilton. And then we see the disc going downfield. Again, Ellie Melick, again, maybe I'll give it to you. That's a D. Jones, just off the hands of Jones there. So many close calls for both teams in this point.
Yeah, and Super Bloom really ramping up that defensive pressure, making such a big difference and rattling this Tempest offense. I think the difference for Super Bloom is going to be taking hucks with receivers that are ready for them. The hucks that are being taken right now looks like they're playing for field position.
That's a really good point. Again, we saw a couple of those hucks. I mean, especially one I recall that Pajunas didn't even see the disc go up. And was able to track it down, just not able to haul it in. All right, with the last minute and 9 seconds here in the third quarter of the WL Championship final, we see a new line in for Tempest. And Steph Lim starting with the disc.
San Diego playing tight person.
And Salvachon on the mark. Hits the around. Back to Lim. Lim looking for the reset, finding Kawhi. Kawhi back to Lim. To Garrity. Garrity looking for a reset. Getting a reset. And finding the end zone.
Home crowd erupts, super excited about that play for Seattle Tempest.
That was Gellert throwing to Rodenberg. Third goal on the day so far for Rodenberg. Yes, this crowd was waiting for that moment, waiting to see whether Tempest could hold this point. That was a hold.
Again, when we think about Seattle's ability to score points in their semifinal, going back to this play, really clean play, Gellert to Rodenberg, nice offensive disc movement, keeping possession.
And I would say a little bit of a defensive lapse for Super Bloom. Those were open side looks on a team that really prides itself on person defense. All that to say, you got to let it go. There are 45 seconds left in this third quarter of Championship Sunday, the championship finals. Super Bloom receiving the disc, going downwind.
They need to make sure that they are throwing to targets that are ready for them.
Jones with the disc. Middle of the field. Zettner now back to Jones. Finding Willis. Willis back to Jones. To Abrams. Abrams to Jones. To the sideline. Wu with the disc. Wu resets back to the middle of the field. Abrams.
The San Diego flow looks really, really great.
Jones now with the disc. Disc in the middle of the field. Zettner with the disc. Looking for Diaz. Disc up in the air. Is this going to be a turnover? It is. That is the end of this quarter. No score. Elmi with the D.
To close
Sigh
out
of
the
relief
quarter.
perhaps, but San Diego not able to close the door and get the all-important downwind score. Now giving Seattle Tempest a 2-goal lead into this fourth quarter.
Yes, they weren't able to completely close it, but this offense was a really great possession up until that throw for San Diego Super Bloom. Great play by Elmi, ready to come into the pack, be able to, let everyone jump early, be able to get the D at the end. Wonderful. But I do think that even though Super Bloom wasn't able to secure the point on the board, that possession was a win for them because of their ability to move the disc patiently across the field instead of just put a hug up.
I hear that, but at this point, when you are leading into the fourth quarter, every point matters, and that is a point left on the table.
Absolutely.
All this to say, can Super Bloom close the gap? The full, all-important fourth quarter coming at you very soon. Stay tuned, y'all. You want to see this game finish. And welcome back. The beginning of the fourth quarter starts with Tempest pulling to Super Bloom. Super Bloom now going upwind, looking to close the 2-goal gap and come home with the win here for the WUL final. Ellis now with the disc in the middle of the field. Tempest now with a zone, ostensibly to slow down Super Bloom's motions.
Tempest really close in that cup. They did have a double team called on them yesterday.
It looks like now they're resorting to person. Super Bloom has weathered the storm. Looking downfield, uncorking a deep look, looking for Helton. Helton with the grab just outside the end zone. Helton looking for help. Helton seeing an open receiver and finding Abrams in the end zone. They made it look too easy.
That was a really nice possession. Let's talk about Kayla Helton for a moment. When talking with Coach Wells before the game, Helton talked about how Helton has spent so much time in prepping for national team tryouts, studying the film of other players to get better, to learn their release points, to learn what they wanted to do so that she would be able to best them. And I think that we're seeing that on this field. We're seeing how dynamic Helton is as a player, how she can step into the handler space, how she can fake that around, which we're about to see here, and throw the inside. Has the patience to see where the receiver is going to go, move her mark, and slice through those two Tempest defenders to an open San Diego player.
But more importantly, closing the gap to 1. Now, both teams are going to have to fight upwind to score. So in many ways, this fourth quarter, especially this where starting positions are, seeming hopefully favoring Super Bloom. We shall see. Super Bloom with the pull downfield. Kawhi centering the disc to Jajerski.
Super Bloom's pulls have been better consistently than Tempest's.
Jajerski now with the disc, finding Rodenberg in the middle of the field. Looking for Lim, getting the reset. Lim going back to Rodenberg, disc up in the air, 2 Tempest players. Bradshaw coming down with it. Bradshaw finding Jajerski. Disc back to Lim. Lim looking for Hawaii. Now back to the middle of the field. Bradshaw is the reset. Bradshaw looking downfield, looking for Kawhi. The disc is hanging. Kawhi safely secures that goal.
Big point for Tempest to have a clean hold, 1 possession, being able to show that they are still in control of this game and put a 2-point differential between them and San Diego.
Yeah, and this was just nice movement, and it started really with Jajerski going downfield and then letting Bradshaw, getting the disc in the middle of the field, Bradshaw then finding Kawhi in the end zone. And second assist for Bradshaw in this game.
And I think that possession still shows that Tempest isn't infallible. You know, there was a disc that went high in the air and had to be, recovered. There's a lot of opportunity here for pressure to mount and build. Keep this game really close. Still anyone's game.
Absolutely. Again, back to a 2-goal differential. Tempest up on San Diego Super Bloom here for the championship finals for the WUL, presented to you by Discraft. Tempest now with the pull, hanging in the air. It will go, lands in bounds. Disc now in the middle of the field. Ellis with the disc, looking to the far side. Disc now back in the middle of the field. Ishii with the disc, Ishii down to the middle. Looking downfield, finding the reset. Diaz now with the disc. Looking downfield, another deep look. Kirkland able to come off her player, getting the D.
Looked like there was a miscommunication downfield. Diaz seemed to think that there was a player streaking, player turned the other direction.
I think Diaz was looking for Salvation, but to your point, I think Salvation was trying to come under. Elmi now picking up the disc. Looking for the around, a discussion about a foul call. Doesn't look like Willis is contesting. Oh, it is contested. Again, you can see that the observers are utilizing their hand signals to tell us what is happening on the field. When you see the observer putting their 2 fists together, that is a contested call. Pre-stall now in play. Elmi looking for the around. Second time, Willis makes sure it's a block.
And because the stall came in on 3 there, Elmi only had 4 seconds to be able to get the disc out of her hands.
Super Bloom now with the disc just 3 yards outside the end zone. Ellis going to pick up.
Big opportunity for Super Bloom right here.
Again, this is a hold.
Goals are goals.
Looking for the hammer. I don't know if there was some miscommunication there or what happened. Unfortunate drop for Super Bloom. Tempest now trying to move in the other direction. Cassie Wong with the disc.
Really aggressive mark.
Erickson comes down with it, climbs the ladder. Now Erickson looking downfield. Will that disc hold? Will it hang? Will it stay in bounds? Yes, to all three.
You could see Drea Baroma celebrating before she'd even caught the disc there, knowing she'd be able to secure that in for a goal.
What a turn of events. This disc started basically with a turnover by Tempest on the end zone line, then moving it in quick fashion the other way. Erickson just throwing a perfect deep throw to Baroma for a break.
And an important one because it increases the differential to 3.
Erickson having a game as well. 2 goals to 1 assist for Erickson. Baroma with 1 goal, 1 assist.
Erickson has spent a lot of time really focused on her throwing form. You know, is known for going out in fields to practice the form of her throws to make sure that she is using her torso to get the power that you could see on that backhand there.
Disc now back in play. Super Bloom with the disc. Down 3. Score is 9-12. San Diego looking downfield, looking for no one else except Ellie Melick. Unable to track that down. 2 other Super Bloom players in the area. Tempest now getting a chance to pick up the disc. Snyder with the disc, looking downfield, unable to connect. Gives Super Bloom the disc about 20 yards outside the end zone. Super Bloom with a, as far as I'm concerned, must-score situation.
Super Bloom's marks are really making a difference here, forcing really errant throws from Tempest.
Cabriales picking up the disc, centering the disc over to Iwamoto. Overthrown, but Kayla Helton coming down. Kayla looking downfield. And they're not deemed not in, or there's some discussion actually on the pass prior to.
There was
observer going over.
Foul call between Ellie Melick and Snyder earlier.
It looks like it's been retracted, which means Messner might be ending up with the disc just outside the end zone. I did not see the observer signal Messner in. Messner now checking the disc in, just standing on the doorstep, looking for a reset, finding Kayla Hilton. Hilton now with the disc, resetting back to Messner. Now to Hilton. Cabrielas now with the disc, back to Hilton. Trying to insert that disc in, goes up, it's still hanging. Ellie Melick with the goal. Disc just stood there for the taking, and Ellie Melick said, yep, thank you, I will have that one. I would like to add to another goal.
Hilton might have won season-long MVP, but Ellie Melick is making a case for being the game MVP right now.
4 goals now for Ellie Melick in addition to 2 assists. Again, that throw just hanging in the air, but remaining in bounds, and really heads-up play by Ellie Melick to just go and get it.
And I think it shows the intelligence that she has. Her defender, Julia Snyder, stood in the end zone and didn't follow her, but Ellie Melick had the wherewithal to go chase down that disc as it was floating.
Now, changes the gap back down to 2, where we started at the beginning of this third quarter. We are in the 4th quarter of championship weekend, the championship finals between Seattle Tempest and San Diego Super Bloom. Only about 6 minutes left on this clock. Halfway through this 4th quarter, will Super Bloom be able to get another break?
And we're in that point of the game where we're seeing Super Bloom stars playing point after point after point. Ellie Melick back on the field, Hilton back on the field.
Disc now in Kawhi's capable hands. Kawhi looking downfield. Resets to Lim. Lim now back to Kawhi. Looking for the deep look. Not finding it. Finding Garrity in the middle of the field. Garrity looking for a reset, finding Lim. Lim back to Kawhi. Kawhi still looking downfield. Decides to do it anyways. Pajunas in the area. Pajunas says, I got that. Pajunas now moving the disc the other way. Jones with the disc in her hand. Jones looking.
Nice grab.
Ellie Mellick now with the disc. Looking downfield. Throws a throw that is going to tail back. But Stambaugh tried to get the read. Kawhi coming through with the D.
Poach blocked by Hannah Kawhi, trailing that, able to see that play develop, see that it was tailing back. Had a better angle on it than the two players that were standing underneath the disc.
Oh, if I were Ellie Mellick, I'd want that throw back. Tempest now with the disc. Lim now. Middle of the field. Bradshaw with the disc. Back to Lim. Gellert bobbles, but keeps it. Lim now to Kawhi. Kawhi looking for the deep. Back to Lim. Little over 4 minutes left.
Super Bloom D is
now
getting
with the disc.
looser. It's creating more opportunities for the Tempest offense.
Garrity now with the disc. Jajerski looking for the deep. Pajunas waiting for that. Disc again rolls into the end zone. 80 yards for Super Bloom to go in order to get this all-important break.
You can see none of the players on the field starting to look tired as we enter these last 4 minutes of this fourth quarter. Players that have been playing point after point after point.
Jones gives to Ellis. What looks like a zone look coming from Tempest at this point. Jones now with the disc. Jones finding Ellie Mellick in the middle of the field. Resets. Back to Pajunas. Pajunas finding Helton. Disc is hanging. Will it stay in bounds? Kayla Helton with the toe. Keeps the disc in bounds. Now looking downfield. Looks for the IO. Resets to the middle of the field. Looks for Ellie Mellick. Overthrows Ellie Mellick.
That was a beautiful play by Helton. The wherewithal to keep your toes down as you're bidding for a disc that's tailing out of bounds. That was a great grab. Not able to complete for the goal. Phenomenal grab.
Lim now here to pick up the disc. Garrity with the disc, trapped on the sideline. Finds the reset in Lim in a power position. Lim looking downfield. Holsters, looking at the middle of the field, finds Kawhi. Kawhi, slight overthrow, some discussion about a foul. Ellis indicating no contest on the foul call.
Rodenberg taking a while to get up.
Disc will now stay with Kawhi. Another pre-stall situation again. Players are allowed to move. Thrower cannot throw the disc until the end of the pre-stall. Kawhi now. Far side. Disc back to the middle of the field. Jajerski now with the disc. Looking downfield. Tries to throw the inside out. Gets it. Another deep throw. Rodenberg in the end zone. Unable to come down with it. 2 minutes left to go. Ellis with the grab. Ellis finding Ellie Mellick. Finds Salvation. Jones now with the disc. Jones looking downfield, looking for Helton. Disc is caught by Helton. Helton looking for a reset, looking for Pajunas. Pajunas going downfield. Finds the reset. Finds Ellie Mellick and the the Super Bloom break.
Something that I appreciated at that point was Helton's clock management. You could see Helton signaling to her teammates that they had to score quickly because with only just over a minute and a half left in this game, they needed to get a point on the board so they can at least have the game tied as we end regulation to be able to force an overtime.
Charlie Mercer is already calling a possible overtime result here. It appears we also have a timeout called. Both Tides taking a chance to catch their breath. Again, that was a possession-saving grab by Helton. Helton looking downfield, finding Stambaugh. Stambaugh then finding Ellie Mellick in the end zone.
Gives us another goal for Ellie Mellick.
That's 5 on the day. I'm not sure who called the timeout, but if I imagine it was San Diego, because if we are seeing what you are seeing, Charlie, which is that the same players are going back on, I suspect what the coaching staff is doing is trying to give those players a necessary break.
Absolutely. You can see some flags on the field, some Tempest players Tempest crowd fans trying to rally the troops as we enter the last minutes, trying to use this home crowd advantage to their advantage. San Diego having to fight and look internally to find their strength, use their swagger and their confidence. You know, this team has been built off of generations of players. San Diego has not always been known as a hub of Ultimate, and Super Bloom is showing that they are built off of players like Coach Shar, who has been contributing, teaching San Diego players generation after generation that San Diego's success here is demonstrating the culmination of all of that work.
So fun fact, Shar taught me to play. There you go. Okay, now we have a minute and a half to go. Tempest has to go upwind at this point in order to get the hold. San Diego with a chance to break and tie this game and see if Charlie Mercer's prediction is going to be correct. Will this game go into overtime? This remains to be seen. Again, the big names for Super Bloom still on the line. You're seeing Ellie Melek, you're seeing Diaz, you're seeing Ellis, you're seeing Helton, you're seeing Pajunas. Disc is in the air.
I think Super Bloom has the momentum at this point.
Disc centered to Sue. Sue looking downfield. Finds Heko. Heko mocked by Iwamoto. Finding Cassie Wong. No! Disc goes over. Pajunas now with the disc. Finding Iwamoto. Iwamoto looking downfield. Finding Pajunas in the middle of the field, but a drop. Some discussion about the disc, it appears. That wind really starting to mess even with everyone here. Looks like they're trying to bring in a new disc.
You can see the wind having an impact. You can see it moving the player's hair, how strong it is.
For some reason, we have thrown the disc out of bounds and we are bringing in a new disc. To be clear, new discs are allowed to come in if there is some damage to the disc. So it looks like Pajunas was alleging that there was something with the disc. A new disc has come in now with 1 minute and 4 seconds. Seattle Tempest with the disc. Super Bloom needs the block.
Tempest doesn't have to score here.
Elmi with the disc, being marked by Ellis. Looks back, resets to Sue. Sue looking for a reset, finding Cassie Wong. Cassie Wong looking downfield. Erickson is going downfield. Diaz trying to catch up. Will Erickson get it? Erickson gets it just outside the end zone, looking downfield. Diaz tries to come off, disc in the air, and with the score! Tempest, Baroma with the grab.
That connection between Erickson and Baroma has happened a couple times this game. Baroma is another player that is known for either having really phenomenal games or sort of okay games. And this is a game where Baroma is popping off, and this is the time to do it.
Cassie Wong fearlessly throwing this disc downfield, realizing that Erickson has gotten away from Diaz. Erickson now just outside the end zone, sees Baroma. Diaz tries to come off. Iwamoto not able to close the gap. Baroma with the grab. Now a 2-goal lead with 34 seconds here left on the clock here for the WUL Championship Final between San Diego Super Bloom and Seattle Tempest.
If I were Tempest here, I would come down with a zone or a junk look to slow down the San Diego offense to try to kill the clock time.
Tempest with a pull, going downwind. Super Bloom having to play upwind at this point. Disc in Jones' hand. Disc gets turned over by Jones. Now 20 seconds left on the clock. This now starts to feel inevitable. Tempest just has to hold possession. Possession on the ground too, looking for Snyder. Abramovich with the reset, 8 seconds left to go. This is now about to be a swan song. Sue with the disc, 4 seconds left. Sue looking for a reset, finding a reset, and the disc is in Tempest's hand, and as well as a second championship. Seattle with the back-to-back wins over Super Bloom.
Congratulations, Tempest. They worked hard.
They did, but Super Bloom had so many chances. You even think back to that last point and that unfortunate drop by Pajunas. That was the chance to tie this game.
Absolutely. San Diego has had such incredible athletic individual performances, and there were just a couple of glitches at key moments that led to Tempest being able to close out this win.
Tempest getting to win in front of their home crowd, again, bringing back a back-to-back champion here in the second, and I'm going to call it the second, not inaugural year of the WUL, but what a performance and what a game.
What a game.
I mean, the win really was the 8th defender.
And it impacted both teams equally.
Definitely. But if you are Super Bloom, you've got to feel a little bitter, you've got to feel a little sad, but a heck of a game.
Yeah, coming up here, having partners. Cabriales' wife came to surprise her and watch her play. You know, it is a little bit disappointing when you have, you know, family that's flying up to see you. And it's such an opportunity to be here and to get to play on this stage. And there's so many individual performances for people to be proud of. And we're going to see here with our Discraft play of the game.
What do you think it's going to be?
Ellie Melick, obviously.
Ellie Melick with the layout block here on the mark against Jajerski is your Discraft play of the game. I mean, what a performance individually for Ellie Melick, but again, collectively for Super Bloom. What a season for them. Again, they were first place in the Southwest Conference. This is a rematch of week 1 between these two teams, and we finished how we started, Tempest taking the win.
Also the rematch of our last championship game.
Absolutely.
This really reiterates this target on the back of Tempest for every other team in the league to be coming after them, trying to take down. They're starting to build that dynasty, and Super Bloom is not happy about it. You can know that during this offseason, Super Bloom is going to be thinking about this game, coming back to it, so they're going to be coming back more relentless, more fearless, more intense next season.
And again, the WUL's mission is to provide visibility for these athletes, and they do it for you back at home. Thank you so much for being a part of this league, for supporting this league, watching these athletes, and just seeing the incredible athleticism that was on display here this game, throughout this weekend, throughout this season. We cannot do it without the fans. We cannot do it without your support. But more importantly, these fans, they do it for these players, they do it for you all. This is an incredible opportunity for these athletes, and one that both the fans, I hope, get to enjoy both here in the stands and at home.
And we can't do it without our sponsors. So thank you to Breakmark for the jerseys. Thank you to Discraft for all of your support.
And more importantly, let's thank Ultiworld, who have been our providers. This is one of the hardest working staffs, y'all, here in Ultimate. Our camera crew, our production crew. We can't do it without you. Thank you so much. All of them standing out in the hot sun, holding these, giving you these incredible angles, giving you these incredible replays in real time. This has been such a joy and pleasure. And Charlie, it's been so much fun to work with you.
And it's been absolutely a joy to work with you, Manisha.
Yeah, and more importantly, y'all, this is a chance for us to just really put a cherry on top of this season. What an incredible season. The WUL in its second year now with 8 teams and just consistent, incredible play throughout all of the 8 teams.
And I've heard so many people talk about the WUL being such an easy team, an easy league to follow, easy to understand, really great rule set, and the work that the stats team has been doing makes it so fun to follow along, to be able to see instances where players are contributing that aren't necessarily showing up with like the obvious goals and assists.
And really does take a village. This WUL board, the stats team, all of the crew, all of the consultants, all of the paid staff. We really can't do it without any of it. But let's just really recap this game. Again, messy. Let's be acknowledged that 40 turnovers to 41 turnovers. But really the big story of the game were the breaks, or in case of Super Bloom, the lack of breaks. What has been really their MO, their ability to just ratchet on score after score after score. Just didn't see it done today.
Yeah, absolutely. Tempest had 29 break chances. Super Bloom only 15 break chances.
But all the same, let's talk about these clean holds. Again, with without clean holds, you really don't give yourself a chance to get those break opportunities. Now, this is not to say this was not a close game. 13-11, all things considered. This really came down to one break.
Absolutely. And I think that for both of these teams, playing against other teams, they're frequently, you know, and we're having final scores that are in the 20s or sometimes higher. And so the fact that our final score is as low as it is really tells the story of how fierce the competition was and the number of turnovers that limited the total scoring that occurred.
Again, as we start to reflect back on both this season and more importantly, when we come back next season, the question will be, what are the narratives that you're going to see? Is it going to be Tempest's dynasty to take away, to build? Is it Super Bloom? Is someone else going to come out of the pack? Let's be clear, we had two new finalists coming to this year's championship weekend in Utah Wild and in the Falcons. Two teams that missed out just by a little bit of Arizona and Onyx. What might happen next year?
You'll have to tune in to find out. There's a lot of opportunities. Keep plugging in to the Western Ultimate League. There's lots happening.
July from Nottingham, England, the World Flying Disc Federation's World Under-24 Ultimate Championships. Live all-access coverage, including semis and finals, exclusively at ultiworld.com.
And welcome back. We are here to really just recap what has been an incredible weekend of play. Seattle Tempest, your 2023 WUL champions for the second year in a row. And we have our sideline reporter, Leah Smith, with one of our Tempest players.
Hi, I'm Leah Smith, and I'm here with Drea Baroma of the Seattle Tempest. I would say the person who scored the game winner for the team. Drea, how does it feel to win championship weekend, especially at home?
Oh man, there's so many words. I'm trying to collect them right now. But last year, of course, we won, so we had like a lot on our back, defending champions. Beautiful Seattle, as you can see. It feels amazing to win in front of our fans, in front of our friends. A lot of people like here in Ultimate in Seattle, it runs deep, so it feels really good to win home field, of course. Ooh.
Any highlights either from the game or your entire season?
Man, my whole team, walking buckets, all of them individual highlights, walking highlights themselves. There was one, I got to shout myself out, of course. There was one, of course, the winning point, Jamie Erickson threw a beautiful, like, trust, like, Drea's gonna get it type of pass, and of course I had to deliver it. She trusts me that much, right? That's why I want to say, like, that's like how our team is built. And man, I just love my team. We trust each other. We have all this chemistry built up the whole season. And it was the end of the road, so we had to show out a little bit.
Anything else you want to say? Thank anyone, or just shout out?
I want to thank I want to thank all of the coaches, Pam, Rory, Deb, the fans, of course, and my boyfriend's watching from home. He's like in California, so he's in California, so he's probably watching right now.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Drea Baroma, and thank you to Seattle Tempest. We're going to throw it back to Slap and Charlie.
What a great interview. That's so much fun. I mean, it's, you know, Charlie, you made this point earlier of like just the storylines of the players themselves. And it is just really wonderful to just hear to your point, the joy and excitement. But more importantly, what a game.
Yeah, and we are going to get to see some wonderful highlights from this game, and there are so many of them.
I mean, again, what individual performances, but more importantly, what a collective performance from Tempest. You can't credit them enough. Just top to bottom with their roster, contributing through these even line calls that you were seeing. But more importantly, as Baroma pointed out, the game winner, that put the game away in this moment. Despite incredible plays like that from Kayla Helton, we saw this last play really the deciding factor. Baroma with the trust grab. This has been an incredible journey. I really appreciate you being with us. It has been an absolute honor, a privilege, and we are so happy that you came and you stayed with us. Seattle Tempest, your 2023 WUL champions. Peace out, be well, be safe, and we will catch you next year. All right, and welcome back. I am Manisha Dariani, and amongst the many roles I do have on this league, I am actually also the board president. I'm joined here with one of my co-board members, Leah Smith, and we have the distinct pleasure of sharing with you the trophy ceremony with your 2023 WUL champions, Seattle Tempest. Can I please have the captains come on up? Seattle Tempest has 5 captains, and these 5 captains will be receiving the trophy and will be for the 2nd year in a row with back-to-back wins. Seattle Tempest, your 2023 WUL champions. The camera is over there, y'all. And a team effort all around. Again, back-to-back winners for Seattle Tempest. And now, captains, you have the pleasure of being able to bring up your team, and every one of your team members gets a Breakmark championship jersey, courtesy of our premier sponsor, Breakmark. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you had a great run. Congratulations. Say hi to the camera, y'all. We'll be back next year. Please take care. Have a great time. Seattle Tempest, congratulations. Back-to-back winners.
Thank you.